Welcome back to Talking Comics with Heroes and Villains. I'm Eric, and this is
Arnie?
And today we're discussing Ultimate Spider-Man #1, the new Miles Morales issue. Yeah, Peter Parker's dead, Arnie. It's super sad.
Yeah.
And there's a new kid in the spider suit with the new web shooters. It's
super cool, by the way.
Miles Morales. Yeah, so who is Miles Morales?
Miles Morales is a 13-year-old, half Hispanic, half African-American boy from New York, the Bronx, I believe.
Undisclosed right now,
Is it
yeah.
undisclosed? I thought it said the Bronx for some reason. And he's the guy that's about to take the place of
Peter Parker. Yeah, he's the new Spider-Man.
The old Spider-Man, Peter Parker.
And it's really exciting so far. He's much younger than Peter was. He's 13 years old, which is pretty cool. And he's kind of from like a much poorer family than Pete was.
Yeah.
We were talking before this, and when you were a kid, Pete was kind of like...
Yeah, the Peter I was used to was the guy that never really actually met his parents, and he had a loving uncle and a loving aunt. And his greatest tragedy was that he lost his uncle.
Grew up pretty well off, though, in general.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty, really
Not
smart
a lot
kid.
of struggling.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
And he was also kind of a bad person initially. Like, when he had his powers, he used them for personal gain. He became a wrestler.
Yeah, he was kind of a cocky guy.
Wasn't really likable at first. He became amazingly cool later on, but was kind of unlikable at first.
Yeah, didn't have a lot of appreciation or gratitude for, the mundane stuff.
Or respect for life in general. But now, this kid, Miles Morales, is amazing. Already at 13, he's a super cool guy. He has this crushing guilt, which is really interesting, about anything good that happens to anyone else in the world. He feels like that happens to him, he feels like it should happen to someone else. Like he's in this lottery to go to a charter school this issue. Talk about that.
Yeah, he's gonna be in, he wants to get into a better school, so his parents put him into this lottery for a fancy charter school in New York, and they call off all the numbers of the people they can accept in, and he's the last one called.
Yeah, there's like 700 applicants, and there's 700 applicants in like 3 spots to get into the school. 40 spots.
And when his name gets called, he looks around and he sees all these other kids that are
crying.
Yeah, and just really sad that they didn't get into this fancy school.
Yeah.
And he got in, and his first reaction is, what about all these other kids?
Yeah, and it's pretty much his ticket out of the ghetto, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, his parents grew up really, really poor.
Yeah.
And his uncle actually is a supervillain, who we find out in this issue. The way that Miles gets the powers is because his uncle robbed an old supervillain's lab, like mad science lab, and one of his radioactive spiders, like the one that bit Peter Parker, crawls into his bag. Yeah,
and he takes it home with him.
Yeah.
Unknowingly.
And it bites his nephew, and he goes into convulsions, and that's how Miles gets the tainted radioactive blood that Pete had.
And his uncle looks like Snoop Dogg.
He looks just like Snoop Dogg, which is amazing.
Hispanic version of Snoop Dogg.
Oh, it's so good. Marvel uses a lot of actor and celebrity reference for artists. They used Samuel L. Jackson for Nick Fury in the early Ultimate stuff. And then he went on to play the actual part when the films came out, which was cool.
Yeah.
Now this one they're using Snoop Dogg for this hip Uncle Ben. In this lime green pimp suit with a Kangol hat. It's amazing. Yeah, he looks just like Snoop Dogg, and it's sort of I don't want him in the movies at all. But yeah, what are you gonna do? He's a new Uncle Ben is this jive talking supervillain, which is amazing.
Well, he's not a supervillain. He's just a guy that's struggling to make ends meet. So
He wears a mask and he breaks the laws. He's a supervillain.
No, he's. If you think about it, all superheroes that wear masks and fight crime on their own, they're all vigilantes.
But they don't rob
the
people
law.
Generally. They save kittens from trees.
He was robbing a supervillain.
Yeah, 2 wrongs don't make a spider right, is all I'm going to say to you right now. Peter Parker's ghost would frown at you right now.
He probably is.
But it's pretty much what the whole book is about. It's that Miles Morales' dad grew up poor as well, but made something of himself.
Yeah.
And then
they're all poor.
And his brother became this kind of villain character. So he has 2 role models to go after.
Well, that's his mom's brother. It's not his dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, but he has 2 male role models in his life.
Yeah.
One's a criminal, and one is a working man.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. And he's given a way out of mundanity. He's bitten by a spider bite, a radioactive spider, and given powers. And he's also accepted into the school for this really amazing school to get a good education, go to college.
Which the story, that dynamic and that family relation in the story gives it just so much more depth than Peter Parker's life had.
Yeah.
Because Peter Parker, like I said before, his greatest misfortune was that his uncle died and that he got bullied at school.
And we knew how he's going to end up too, because he's Spider-Man. It was a retelling of the origin story, but we knew how Pete was going to end up. Miles Morales might become a villain, which would be awesome.
And he's got every odd against him. I mean, he's poor, he's a minority, he lives on the bad side of town. He's got deadbeat uncles and just deadbeat
Snoop
people
Dogg
around him.
Him out. Yeah.
he's got everything going against him, and here
Yeah.
he is trying to climb out of this hole and make his life a better, just make a better way for himself. And the first
Yeah.
chance he gets is to go to the school.
And even his costume is like this black and red sort of darker looking costume.
Yeah.
Like it's a darker book than it used to be. More real life kind of stuff, more gritty.
And his powers are different too.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
He has different spider-based powers than Pete had.
yeah.
Yeah, one of them is that he can blend into his surroundings.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
He becomes invisible.
He has the spider camouflage power,
Yeah.
which is pretty awesome. Yeah, so that'd be great to pickpocket people and whatnot. So we'll see.
So
We'll see what Rowdy
what does he
takes.
do? Does he do does he have the right make the right choice, or does
Yeah.
he take the easy way
So
out?
there's way more potential for drama in this character, and I'm really excited to read it. It looks awesome so far.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I didn't get to see who the artist was, but the art's amazing on this thing.
Yeah, it's really good, and Brian Bendis is always like top notch. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great book, great book. Awesome. Yeah, so you should check it out and let us know what you think, people. At facebook.com/Heroes and Villains Tucson, or in the comment section right here, or on Twitter at H&V Comics.
So thanks again, and have a great week.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Jizzle. It's Snoop Dogg now? See what I was saying there? The Snoop Dogg joke? That's funny, that's funny.
Just forget that you heard that.